Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. This is your friend Ursie, and yes, it's 2025 now, and so many of us are perhaps feeling this calm before the storm, or that this is going to be perhaps a very pivotal year, a year like we haven't seen before. Not to create any fear, but when you think a storm is coming, how do you get prepared? And so I've been talking to friends, and the metaphor that I've been using has been like the analogy of the Titanic movie, where you're on the ship. And I think my role would be like one of the violin players, just playing the music, even though the chaos around me is going strong, honoring that everyone's got to do what they've got to do, but I don't have to necessarily engage. It's a really different kind of way of showing up for someone who is quite like a first responder. That's typically how I am in life. So how to move from a first responder to focusing on what brings me joy. What brings me joy? And I'll ask you, what brings you joy? And can you focus on that in the center of a storm? It's almost like no matter what's happening around you, can you find the center within and just keep the calm? I know. So we'll see how it goes this year, right? Let's see if we can take everything that we've learned, perhaps on a metaphysical path, a spiritual path, even a religious path. To me, it feels like pencils down. Everything that we've learned is now going to be asked of us to like practice. Okay, so how advanced am I in this particular area of balancing the yin and the yang, of positive, negative? What happens when something ridiculous flies in through the door or the roof goes off? How do you respond? And the response is different than the reaction. So I wanted to just say what I focused on, and it's coming up, is this idea of a global summit. It's a live stream with Julia Balaz and 28 of my other colleagues who've been certified as galactic astrologers with the Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioners Certification course. I know there's a lot to say, but anyway, it's pretty cool that you can kind of get a sense of, well, if I've had an experience, who was there in the room with me? If it's like, well, I think I just saw somebody, but I'm not sure who it was. But it didn't feel anything negative. It's just more like, who's around me to support me this year? And I think as the veil is thinning, we're going to be having this idea of our realms are going to be a little bit more transparent, or merging from one timeline into the next. So we, who we think we are, may actually be expanding into more of a quantum awareness. Like that dream I had last night, I could tell you I was really there. It was so specific and so real. So, hey, while I'm at it, I wanted to show you this little bit of something I did with the Quantum Soul Guidance group, just so that last year it felt like the first 12 days of January. If anyone wanted to play, I invited them in to kind of do some fun thing with me by creating what's called a star Merkaba, a 12-pointed star. Here we go. This is just a portion of it. And we all looked at our individual natal charts and astrology, and then brought in the galactic family star members, so that we're not just working with the solar system of our sun named Soul, which is a beautiful star, but we also brought in stars like, in my case, Sirius A, who is conjunct and making a soul connection to my natal Mars in Cancer in the 10th house. And the message that Sirius A is telling me is, you've got this. That is the brightest star in our heavens from Earth. And it is called by Bernadette Brady the fire of immortality. So when I get a little bit nervous, like I I'm sometimes a little bit afraid, like, how will I be able to share my true galactic self with others who just think of me more or less as a mom or a painter or a friend? But in fact, this is all of me. This is what I enjoy studying. And so look over here, there's Bellatrix in the constellation of Orion, the hunter. This beautiful star, Bellatrix, is sitting with my midheaven at 22 degrees of Gemini. So if that's astro speak for you, what does it mean? So I can condense it down to I will succeed through shadows plus light. If you have the star Bellatrix in a very strong conjunction or a particular aspect to your natal chart, this is a star of success, but it's not easy success. It's the success that comes through trials and tribulations, through shadow work, through the dark night of the soul. Oop. That's what my puppy thinks, that dark night of the soul. Anyway, I better pause. Another example that I wanted to share with you is like the Orion Nebula. This is a beautiful cluster of stars. It's actually a star nursery. And the Orion Nebula is working with my midheaven at 22 degrees Gemini. And so what is that message? So what you do is when you find the aspects using the galacticastrochart.com calculator, you can start seeing these alignments. And so for me, what I've internalized with the Orion Nebula, which I love, it's one of the most beautiful images that we get back from the James Webb Telescope. The message is, Ursula, share your co-creations and galactic star nursery with others. So whether it's my paintings or these little mini videos, it's a joy to do. And so I feel inspired when I look at that particular connection. So you can see there's many things, and perhaps just as a reminder, this was done last year. I'm going to tell myself to breathe in the blessings and set an anchor. You've got this. Share your co-creations. It's time to expand. And I succeed through shadows and light. With the Pegasus star Markab working with my descendant at 22 degrees Pisces, the message is I am steady and I fly higher in sacred partnerships. So it's interesting, right? At the descendant with the seventh house, it's my, relationship of one-on-one partners. So it's learning how to pull the little pieces together and weave a particular message for yourself. So if you're interested in doing this in 2025, give me some comments below in the chat or the comment box, and just your feedback will help guide me in what to share going forward in 2025. Thanks so much for listening. In fact, here, let me just see if there's one more image I want to share with you. Dun, 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 dun. Here it is. So this particular image, which I wanted to share, this was 12 points of light. You can take any 12 points, right? Whether they're stars or they're messages for yourself. This had the Quantum Soul Guidance logo in the center, and dear friend Kelly Brett created the graphic. We worked together to design what we thought wanted to come through. But it's this idea of how do we hold space and create a sacred structure to support us in the coming 12 months ahead. So it's been a joy to work with Julia Balaz and my colleagues. I just wanted to start sharing a little bit about what we've been up to with you publicly. If you're interested in the Galactic Astrology 101 course, or even the practitioner certification course, let me know. I may have access to a coupon code that could help support you as you go forward in your own studies. I know there's a limited time to it, but Julia was so nice to offer this as a way of encouraging people to step into understanding the fullness of who you are. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now.